G'day guys, we've got another video here for you today, and today we're talking all about breathing mechanics and why they are so important for everyday life, everyday movement, and just functioning well on a daily basis. So breathing mechanics, it might sound simple and it might sound like, you know, what is Ash talking about breathing mechanics for? But basically no one teaches anyone how to breathe these days, and when we're born it's very innate and we know how to breathe and breathe deeply and breathe into our diaphragm. But as we get older and as we move less and as we're more sedentary, that we forget how to breathe properly, and we stop breathing through our diaphragm and we start breathing more through our chest. And yeah, it becomes a bit of a nightmare because the fundamental breathing mechanics and breathing well is the foundation of a strong core. And we talked about midline stabilization in our last video and how important that was. And if you don't have good breathing mechanics, then you've got no ability to generate midline stabilization, because the diaphragm is a muscle just like any other muscle, and if you're not constantly breathing into it, it's going to get weak and it's going to get very vulnerable. So you're not going to be breathing into it, that muscle won't be strong, and therefore you'll just be weak through this whole midline, and that will compromise every movement that you do on a daily basis. So that's why breathing mechanics are so important. And I've got a little drill that I want you guys to do, a little exercise. So I want you to pause the video after this. I just want you to lay down on the ground and just get a stopwatch or a timer and just breathe normally and just count how many breaths in that you take. So only the breaths in, just count them, see how many you get in 1 minute. Okay, so pause the video now and go do that for me. Alright, so now you guys are back with me. So you might have got a number like around 20 plus. Look, I test this on most people, and generally most people are sitting on probably on average around 20 breaths in a minute. I've had some people up around 30, 35. That's very, very high. So basically a healthy human being, someone who's breathing normally and breathing into their diaphragm, will take anywhere between 8 to 12 breaths in 1 minute. And anything over that tells us straight away that you're a very fast breather and that you're taking very shallow breaths. And that's an issue and a problem for a number of reasons. The first one is stress. So if you're breathing more than 12 breaths in 1 minute, then it's a very good sign, a very good indication that you're already in a constant state of stress and in that sympathetic nervous system, or that fight or flight response that we commonly refer to. And the problem with that is that you don't want to be in that state all the time, because number one, if you're in constant stress, you're not going to be able to burn body fat as a major fuel source. So your body's going to actually hold on to as much fat as possible and, you know, preserve that for the future. It's a defense mechanism, and all the energy, all the blood is shunted away, and the body is not going to want to burn fat if you're in a state of constant stress. It's gonna be more focused on other things and on getting you away. That fight or flight response is you running away, so all the energy is going to go into that and not into burning fat. So that's number one. So you're in a high state of stress if you are breathing more than 12 breaths per minute. The other thing is that it affects your ability to contract your core muscles. So if you're not breathing into your diaphragm, if you're breathing through your chest, then the core musculature just isn't being engaged on a daily basis. So even if you get to the gym and if you do lots of work on your core, a lot of people do sit-ups and crunches, and that's the focus of their training. I see it a lot here, and it's not going to help you get a stronger core. So the breathing has to underpin that, and solid breathing mechanics has to be the foundation. Otherwise, you're pretty much wasting your time with those exercises. So the breathing has to come first. So stress, number one. Two, your ability to generate stability through that midline and engage that core musculature. What else can I tell you about breathing? It just underpins everything that we do on a daily basis. So super important. We teach it to all our athletes. We get them doing diaphragmatic breathing, where we take a really long breath in. So we want to get that up to 4 seconds. So we get our athletes doing that quite regularly, usually as a recovery method after a training session. Could be before as well, or during the warm-up is another good place to do it. So when you're doing mobility, stretching, foam rolling, you're implementing those breathing mechanics and focusing on those long inhales and slow, deliberate exhales. So the long inhales up to 4 seconds, and the exhale should be up to 8 seconds as well. So longer exhale, double the amount of time you are pushing that air out. And that slow breath out is going to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where you want to be in, that nice, calm, relaxed state where you can be burning body fat and you can be rebuilding. So if you're hitting the gym and doing a tough workout and breaking the body down, tearing down muscle, you need to be able to repair that and rebuild to get stronger, and also to put on that lean muscle to burn body fat, to maintain healthy body composition and overall health. If you're in a constant state of stress, then you're not going to achieve that. So that's really important, guys. And like I said, use the test. Definitely do the test, the 1 minute test, see how many breaths you get if you didn't do it before. If you're over 12 breaths, it's an indication that you're already in parasympathetic decline, and that's not a good sign, guys. So you need to get on top of that and keep working on it. Integrate it into your day. So 1 minute mindfulness is something that I talk a lot about. Taking 1 minute at regular pauses and regular intervals throughout the day. You can do this at work, just like the midline stabilization and bracing sequences. You can do them anywhere. Get up at work when you feel that stress building up and getting to you. Take a pause, come back to your breath, and just notice where your tongue is sitting in your mouth. Another indication, if that tongue's pressed against the roof of your mouth, then you're already, again, back into that parasympathetic sympathetic decline. So that parasympathetic, you're slowly moving out of that. If you're in that, if you're in sympathetic, you're making the issue worse. So you want to think about relaxing that tongue into the base of the mouth, just behind the bottom teeth, and softening the face and just coming back to your breath. Doing that for 1 minute intervals. Start with 2 to 3 times a day and just see how you feel from that. Most people, they begin with that, they want to do more because they feel so great because of it. So it will change your whole physiology, how you feel, how you respond, your ability to generate midline stabilization and engage that core musculature, and your ability to get out of stress and stay calm and relaxed and rebuild and get all the benefits that you want from training and all the movement that you do on a daily basis. Hope that helped, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.